You know what it is, UFC 316 coming up on June 7th, and we're with one of the men on the marquee, the former UFC bantamweight champion, Jon Anik. Nice to see you, man. How we doing?
Feels good to be here. Feels good to be in Miami.
A lot of good memories in Miami, Florida, USA.
Yeah, so far so good in Miami. And the East Coast in general.
Right.
Boston, Miami, New Jersey.
Yeah. We love you in Boston, Massachusetts, that's
yeah.
for sure. So you have kept a low profile, to be sure, since the fight against Merab Dvalishvili. I want to take you back to Sphere, if I could, because I read something you said recently about not being that sore after the fight. You had a huge moment, of course, in round 5. But after unpacking those 25 minutes after the fact, what did you like and what didn't you like?
So I was proud of my performance considering how I felt going into the fight. And I don't want to have excuses like, it wasn't a great camp, but it was a good camp for what I was able to do. So, I don't want to say overconfident. I was underestimating Merab's skill. I know how good he is. I just believed in myself that much. So looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have accepted the fight. I tore my labrum, my hip, 10 weeks before the fight. 8 weeks before the fight, Hunter called me and said, hey, you got the Sphere. And I was like, I'm not going to turn that down.
Right.
So it's whatever. I think it's going to make it that much sweeter of a victory after having to lose to him. So, but yeah, I'm happy with where we're at right now.
Company needed and wanted you to headline Sphere, so you accept that fight. As you're getting ready for the fight and you can't grapple and you have a torn labrum in your hip, is any doubt creeping in as to whether or not you're going to be able to actually complete the mission and get the desired result?
I think the delusion that got me to where I'm at played a role into that. I was like, I'm going to go out there and knock this dude out. He's sloppy. He is sloppy. He's still one of the best, arguably the greatest bantamweight of all time right now. Aljo was that guy. I knocked him out. I go beat Cheeto. Merab beats me. Merab's on a crazy win streak. His resume is insane. Again, I believed I was going to go out there and put his lights out. And, I trained as hard as I possibly could for that fight. But, when you have one hip, you're limited to what you're able to do.
So out the backside of hip surgery, which happened shortly after the fight, when did you start to feel better in that part of your body?
Yeah, it's weird going into a fight having surgery scheduled after. Usually, you know what I mean? It was a weird. So I got surgery right after the fight, October, November, December, 3 months of kind of just really letting it recover, and then also while doing physical therapy, and my body has never felt this good. Probably since before I fought Peter Yan. Peter Yan body felt pretty good. Had a little bit of knee stuff I was dealing with, but overall body felt good. Aljo fight did not feel great.
Yeah.
Cheeto fight did not feel great. Merab fight, I was just getting by each fight to where now I really, really feel good.
So a lot has been made of this sort of refocused energy in your life, right? No more cannabis, no more social media and other things, right? I don't know why do you laugh? Just because a lot's been made of it, or?
No, just the other things that have been quit that got a lot of attention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, I would quit cannabis, but I'm not a quitter. So.
No, not that. Carry on.
But to what extent do you believe that, doing puzzles and being present with your family and leaning into everything that is maybe good energy is going to help you get the desired result in this rematch?
I believe it will play a role.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily I'm going to do all that stuff so I can win my next fight. It was more just to be more present and just in life in general, and I know that will play into my performance. I always felt like in the moment I can show up and I can perform.
Yeah.
But taking that a step further, being in the moment more often, and I think being off social media is that alone has played a huge role in my life just in general, and I do think that'll have an effect on my performance.
We've been using puzzles to get my daughter off her fucking cell phone. So.
Puzzles, they'll get you though. I'll be sitting there for too long sometimes being like, I need to move around a bit.
So you're building an 8,000 square foot barn dough? What's a barn dough?
It's a barn dominium. It's like a barn style inspired house.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm in the process of that right now. Building it's just gonna be like a custom home. Every house I keep buying is this is my forever home, but this one should be. It's on the same property as my house right now. Tim, my coach, is my neighbor, so it's this house might be the one.
I know you're a homebody and maybe becoming increasingly more of a homebody as you get older, but is part of that because it is difficult to go out and be, or not necessarily?
I definitely, like going just out in public in general. There's a little like anxiety for whatever reason. Just like, you know, you feel people looking at you, staring at you. Like I don't mind taking pictures with fans and stuff. Like without the fans, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So it's like it's not that, but it is just nice being home. It's like I have my hot tub, cold plunge, sauna, red light, like it's like a spa. I live in a spa, and then I realistically I train in the morning, recover, take a nap in the day, train again in the afternoon. It's like I don't really have energy to go do stuff, and right now I'm so focused on just like not even just fighting Merab, but like I want to fight till I'm 37, 38. Like I'll fight as long as my body holds up, and for that to be the case, I have to take recovery as serious as I take training, and I have been doing that, and I think it'll pay off. And I'm 30 now. Yeah. And I think I got some good years in me.
What did you make of Merab Dvalishvili's decision to turn things around quickly and fight Umar Nurmagomedov?
Merab's an animal. Yeah. He's a beast. He's that last performance was very impressive. It was his most entertaining performance, and yeah, he did a great job. Umar's really good, and Merab. It was a close fight. Merab kind of stole it there at the end.
I know a lot of your fellow bantamweight contemporaries believe that Merab Dvalishvili is beatable, despite the fact that maybe analytically a lot of us don't really have a comp for him in terms of what he does in the octagon. But I'd imagine your acceptance of this fight relatively short after the other one and the surgery is because you really feel like this guy is a beatable guy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't accept the fight. I wouldn't have asked for the fight if I didn't truly believe that I could go out there and beat him. I know I can, and I know I will June 7th. Yeah.
In terms of being attached to a singular loss, this was your first career loss in many respects, right? And I know you appreciate me saying that because of the Chito Vera fight, right? But Alex Pereira, not singularly attached to the Magomed Ankalaev loss, right? Emotionally able to get past that, right? So how do you feel on the back end of that now, and how emotionally attached to that result were you?
I look at it as just like it's an exciting challenge. Like it's not like something that bothers me throughout the day, or like if this fight ended up not happening ever, it's like it's not gonna bug me. Like I know I'm better than him. I'm very grateful to the UFC for giving me the opportunity to go out there and fight him again. Same with the Chito thing. It took me 3.5 years I knew I could beat him. I knew there would be a time and a place, and that happened. And I felt very, very similar for this fight. I'm like, it's gonna happen sooner or later, and it's happening sooner, and I'm very happy with that.
There are so many big fights that could come down your pike if you are able to stay healthy and active until you're 37, 38 years of age. You know, oftentimes you're the guy that gets called out. You are the biggest fight for the man who's fighting you. Are there any opponents or fights out there, even across divisions, that you are of an appetite for?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple guys in the bantamweight division, and there's, I think me moving, anytime a champion or former champion moves up, it's interesting. So I definitely think move up to 45 is realistic, but not anytime too soon. Like there's guys in the bantamweight division that are still very interesting.
Last question, just in terms of your relative star power, and you maybe wouldn't even know the height of it when it comes to just the way you're revered when it comes to like 18, 19, and 20-year-olds in this country. But you've been able to do it largely by staying true to yourself. I often have said the best way to grow your fan base is to knock people clean out. And I think that's sort of a big part of your success. But why do you think you've resonated with the fan base to such an extent?
I mean, I'll say that again. I do think it's because of the highlights. Coming off the Contender Series, the knockout, Snoop Dogg going crazy, that played a huge role. And it's just snowballing the career, and I was able to continue to do that. The Eddie Wineland knockout, Jose Quinones, the Paiva, the Chris Moutinho fight. Like there were just so many memories that people could get attached to and appreciate. I think that plays the biggest role. And then I think just I was very active on social media, and I think that obviously plays a role too. But first and foremost is putting on performances. All right.
Well, the labrum is tightened up, but we're ready to go. UFC 316, Dwalishwilly v. OMalley 2 coming your way in June from The Rock, Newark, New Jersey. Best of luck, my man.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Handle. Palms are sweaty. There we go. Thank you.